Fastball away, 2-2. Correction, full count. It looks like the Eagles are set to dominate the A-Sun this year. Of course, conference play hasn't even started yet, but I'd pick them to finish top of the division at least. Swing and a miss. Down goes Georgie, 2 away. And now here's Sergio Rivera. Second strikeout for Diaz. Rivera, a .286 hitter. 13 runs on 12 hits, no extra base hits, and 7 RBI. Has struck out 14 times, walked 10. He struck out the most of anybody on the team. And the first pitch is driven to center field. Ballpark's going to hold it in. Sato makes the catch, and the Wildcats go quietly in the second. 1-2-3. We go to the third, 5-0 FGCU here on the CatEye Radio Network and SWAC TV. Jeremy Comer leads off the top of the third for Florida Gulf Coast. They have a 5-0 lead over Bethune-Cookman here at the Jack, game 2 of this 3-game series. Wildcats already having to go to a bullpen due to an injury to Edwin Sanchez, who gave up 5 runs in the first 2 innings. Michael Benedict came in and got the strikeout to end the second. He starts his first full inning of work with a fastball low. Benedict, the junior from Fort Pierce, Florida, transfer from Eastern Florida State. And that's a rocket. Everything that FGCU has hit today has been scorched. Leadoff single for Jeremy Comer. Last season at Eastern Florida State, Benedict, 17 appearances, 6 starts, 4-0 at a 3.19 ERA, 43 strikeouts, 17 walks. Here's Caden Hessemeyer. Flew out to center his first time up. That was the first batter of the second inning. As FGCU sent 8 to the plate and 4 came across in the second. Swing and a miss at a fastball low. First look in around the SWAC of the evening. Everybody in action tonight. Southeastern Louisiana and Grambling State are playing a doubleheader today in Hammonds. First game was won by Sela, 12-8. As the count is 0-2 on Hessemeyer. UNC Asheville took a 2-0 series lead on Alabama A&M, 6-1 that final. Sam Houston took a 2-0 series lead on Prairie View, beat them 16-1. Breaking ball in the air to center field. Sergio Rivera will stand under it. There's out number 1. So Hessemeyer has now flown out to center field twice. Southern and USF are playing a doubleheader. That first game is done. South Florida won the first one. And then to the games that are either just finished or ongoing. Game 2 of the Southeastern Louisiana Grambling Series is 2-1 Southeastern in the second. Here's Jarrett Nelson. Started the onslaught in the second with that swinging bunt single down the first base line. Eventually came around to score. Jackson State beat Seattle out on the West Coast yesterday, and they're up 6-4 in the top of the fifth in game 2 against the Red Hawks. Throwback to first. Comer's in there. UT Martin leads Mississippi Valley State 2-1 at the bottom of the fifth. And the Southern South Florida are in the second game of their 2 games today. South Florida leads 7-2 in the eighth. Check swing on the inside. Did he go? No, and it's a ball upstairs. Final score, Mercer beat Alcorn State 10-5. Florida A&M beat Villanova 6-5. And I already mentioned the 11-7 win for UNC Asheville over Alabama A&M. Fouled away. 2-strike count on Nelson. Arkansas Pine Bluff is at Houston, and Alabama State is hosting Longwood for a doubleheader. The first game of that series is over. Alabama State wins 11-6. The second game is ongoing. I couldn't find a score for UAPB in Houston. Alabama State is up on Longwood 8-2 in the fifth, looking to sweep that doubleheader from the Longwood Lancers. Pitch to Nelson. Runner goes, swing and a miss, and they're going to send him back to first. I think the umpire said that Nelson got a piece of that for a foul tip. So he's going to stand back in. Comer has to go back to first, and Fernandez wore that one on the side behind the padding after that tip. This time it's a big swing and miss. First base is occupied, so the drop third strike doesn't matter. Second strikeout for Benedict, 2 away in the inning. Here's the 9-hole hitter, Drew Seidel, at a double on a flare to shallow left that Darrell Lee saw bounce off his glove.
A good inning so far here for the Wildcats, just working quickly as Michael Benedict on the mound, getting easy outs for his defense as well.
Toss over to first, keep Comer there. This is not an FGCU team that steals a ton, just 12 steals so far this season. Fouled away. Jarrett Nelson is one of only 2 Eagles with more than 1 steal. He's got 5. Evan Dempsey has 2. Conversely, the Wildcats are one of the top teams in the nation in terms of steals. They have 44 on the season, half of those coming in the 4-game tilt with Delaware State last weekend as they took advantage of some weakness behind the plate to snag a whole ton of bases in that series. 0-1 to Seidel. Fastball called strike on the outside corner. Full darkness now here in Daytona Beach, just past the 7 o'clock hour. Breaking ball, swing and a miss, as that's the end of the inning. 3 strikeouts in 5 batters faced for Michael Benedict. As FGCU goes quietly in the third, we go to the bottom of the inning, 5-0 Eagles over Wildcats here on the CatEye Radio Network and SWAC TV. Back to the top of the order as we go to the third for Bethune-Cookman. Eric Almonte doubled down the left field line. His first time up was stranded on third. Part of the bases loaded that the Wildcats left stranded in the first and have since given up 5 runs to FGCU to trail 5-0. Chris Diaz cruising. Well, I say that as he plunks Eric Almonte with the first pitch.
And again, Wildcats just needing runners right now. Eric got on base in the first inning when he got up with a double. This time going to get on first with a hit by a pitch. And Wildcats just needing to get any sort of momentum offensively going after going 1-2-3 in the second.
The Wildcats have been hit by pitch magnets this season.
Yeah.
That's number 36 on the year. Here's Andre Martinez, who walked his first time up. His first game back after a week on the IL. Check over on Almonte at first. Couple of scores in from the A-Sun here on this Saturday. Mississippi State beat Lipscomb 26-0. Did you see that score as it was going on?
It's crazy.
Martinez fouls one straight back. Southern Miss beat North Alabama 6-1. Eastern Kentucky beat Illinois State 8-4. Georgia beat Queens 13-5. Alabama beat North Florida 9-3. UNC Wilmington evened up their series with Jacksonville 9-4. Eastern Illinois beat Bellarmine 4-2. Fastball called a strike on the outside corner, 0-2 on Martinez. West Georgia beat Wichita State 5-4. Arkansas toppled Stetson 13-1. Upstairs, missed with a fastball, Diaz. Austin Peay plays Utah Tech. That is going on right now. The Queens, Bellarmine, and West Georgia days are all double headers, as the last weekend of non-conference wraps up around the country. Swing and a miss. Martinez goes down on an outside fastball.
So I looked up the hit by pitch statistics for the entire NCAA. Bethune-Cookman, as of yesterday, ranks 16th and will now be 15th. Will now be tied for 15th with 32 hit by pitches nationally. Number one, Winthrop with 44.
Yeah, we're higher. We're definitely higher than that because we've got 35. They're now 36.
So we would actually be tied for 10th.
Yeah. Darrell Lee struck out his first time up. He is ahead in the count 1-0 with Almonte on first and one down here in the third. Breaking ball misses high. The wind is blowing lazily out toward left center field, gusting up to about 12 miles an hour. Fastball low from Diaz, and it's 3-0 on Lee. From seeing these Wildcats hitters work early in this season, we know it only takes one spark to get this crew going. And 2 free passes in the first 3 batters of an inning might be what the Wildcats need as Lee draws a 4-pitch walk. The 3rd walk of the game issued by Diaz, 4th free pass overall. And it'll bring up Jeter Poyeto to the plate. He flew out to center his first time up.
Now batting the second baseman, number 2, Jeter Poyeto.
So Poyeto in the exact same spot he was in the first, with first and second and one down.
Well, it's looking like an eerily similar inning to that first inning for the Wildcats, where they had the bases loaded and couldn't get any across. Could they flip the script here in the
Poyeto
third?
checks his swing. The slider goes outside. And it's only the 3rd inning. You don't have to hit for power. You don't have to hit a home run every time. As you like to say, just pass the bats.
Yeah.
Diaz misses outside on another slider, and it's 2-0. Wildcats will open conference play with a 3-game set against Prairie View A&M next Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Popped up, foul territory, first base side, and it's going to be caught by guess who? Nelson reaches back over his head for out number 2. And now here's Michael Lucena, who bats once again with 2 on and 2 out, just like the first inning. He walked back in the first.
The third baseman, number 10, Michael Lucena.
The conference schedule for the Wildcats looked like this: home against Prairie View, away against Alcorn, home against Jackson, away against Southern, away against Mississippi Valley. That one's in the air to right. That'll hang up in the air. Comer puts it away, and the Wildcats once again strand a pair in the third. No runs, no hits, 2 left. We go to the 4th, 5-0 FGCU here on the CatEye Radio Network and SWAC TV. Top of the order due up for Florida Gulf Coast as we go to the 4th, 5-0 lead for the Eagles. already the third time through the order for FGCU as they've scored 5 runs on 9 hits. The limit of the Wildcats is just 1 hit and 5 base runners. That one scorched towards second. Poyeto is there to make the catch 1 away.
And Benedict, he's come in and done a fantastic job, Mike. He stepped into a position where he was unprepared, had barely warmed up, and down 5 runs, and he has just come in and commanded the strike zone, the mound, and allowed his defense to make easy outs behind him.
Yep.
That one right there by Jeter Poyeto, one of them.
3 strikeouts, a fly out, a line out, a single. In the first 6 batters faced, here's the ever dangerous John Embury. 2 singles, 2 runs for Embury today. Not as explosive as the 2 home runs he hit last night, but there's still time. Fastball inside, count 1-1. I was detailing the Wildcat conference schedule before the last inning ended. I'll start over. They'll host Prairie View, go at Alcorn State. Host Jackson State, go at Southern and Valley for a 2-week road swing. Then they'll host Alabama A&M, go at Florida A&M, as that one's chop foul. Host Arkansas Pine Bluff, go at Alabama State, and then host Grambling State to end the season. So they get a lot of their toughest matchups on the road this year, whereas last year they got most of their tough matchups here at home. I'm looking at the series as against Southern or against Florida A&M or against Alabama State. They won 8 of those 9 games last year, but all of those matchups were at home, either here or in Sanford.
And you want your toughest games to obviously be at home, so you have some sort of advantage. The Wildcats are going to have to find a way to win on the road this year.
Swing and a miss, and strikeout number 4 for Michael Benedict as he gets Embury to go down swinging. With Tanner Bocabello's ERA over 5 through his first 3 starts, as we start conference play, there may be a conversation to move Michael Benedict to the Sunday spot. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but it's a conversation that might have to happen if he keeps pitching like this.
Well, that's exactly. He's making a name for himself, and he's making a case for himself as well with how he's been pitching recently in the midweeks, and then when he comes in moments and pitches like he is right now, he's definitely putting himself in the conversation to at least put his name in the mix to switch it up.
Not unlike the Wildcat trajectory of one Joel Corey, who is now pitching for the Stetson Hatters and threw valiantly against Florida State in the regional last year. Soft grounder towards Poyeto at second. He'll make the play, and 1, 2, 3 go. The Eagles in the 4th. We go to the bottom of the inning, 5-0 FGCU here on the CatEye Radio Network and SWAC TV. Wildcats looking for some offense as we head to the bottom of the fourth, trailing 5-0. Just one hit, and that was the first batter of the game. Eric Almonte doubled left. Michael Rodriguez will bat now. Rodriguez flew out to right field to end the first inning. Strand, the base is loaded. He gets a chance to lead off. Rodriguez in 23 at-bats has 5 runs on 6 hits, 2 doubles, 9 batted in. He skies one up on the infield, first pitch swinging. Easy pickings for Hessemeyer, 1 away. That'll move the order down to Jose Fernandez, grounded out to third, his first time up.
Now batting for the Wildcats, the catcher, number 44, Jose Fernandez.
Jose Fernandez takes strike 1. Great frame by Embry as that one looked to be a bit outside. Jose Fernandez, the native of Venezuela, now in his second season here in Daytona Beach. Breaking ball into center field. That's dropping quickly, and it will be caught by Seidel on the fly. 2 down.
I thought that one was going to drop, but a great read by the center fielder
First baseman, number 33, Jorge
to pick that one off. And again, unfortunately for the Wildcats, they're making contact, but it's just nothing that is allowing them to garner any sort of offensive momentum.
Jorge Rodriguez now struck out his first time up. One of only 3 strikeout victims for Diaz so far. 3 strikeouts, 3 walks, 1 hit batter. And only 1 hit allowed for Chris Diaz. A lot of the guys on both of these teams know each other, grew up playing together in South Florida. A lot of the Wildcat team from the Hialeah, Miami area, as is FGCU. Foul back to the screen, 1-2 on Rodriguez. Rodriguez from Puerto Rico. I'm sure watched with pride last night as Puerto Rico won their first game of the World Baseball Classic, beat Colombia. He puts that one in the air to center field. Seidel barely has to move. That's out number 3. The Wildcats go 1, 2, 3 in the 4th. We go to the 5th. 5-0 FGCU here on the CatEye Radio Network and SWAC TV. We slide to the 5th here in Daytona Beach. 5-0 FGCU. The Wildcats have been limited to just one hit. Evan Dempsey begins the inning for FGCU. Dempsey, 2 for 2 with 2 singles to right center. Had an RBI on his first single back in the first, scoring John Embry for the opening run of the game. Then was the final of 5 Eagles to reach base in the second, the only one not to score. He's ahead of the count 2-0 on Michael Benedict, who's thrown just 22 pitches now in 2 1/3 innings. Low and away, 3 balls, no strikes. Dempsey got on base 3 times last night, a single, a walk, and a hit by pitch. Scored 2 runs. And he takes a 4-pitch walk there. The first walk delivered by Benedict. That's a 4-pitcher, and none of them were particularly close. That'll bring up Wilfred Gonzalez, who's 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts. The FGCU conference schedule looks like this. Home against Queens, at North Florida. Home against Stetson, at West Georgia. Go back to first after the slider away. Home against Jacksonville, at Queens. Home against North Florida, at Stetson. Home against West Georgia, at Jacksonville, as the A-Sun still plays their 2 divisions double round robin instead of the single division single. That one's bounced towards second. A flip to second for 1. Back to first. The stretch for the double play.
And Mike, I was wondering when Dempsey, you saw Benedict pitch 4 straight balls to him, and those obviously weren't close. I was wondering if they pitched kind of around him to get him on base to potentially get that double play. Risky business for the Wildcats. However, it worked out for them. Michael Benedict looked super confident on the mound, and that play defensively was run superb.
Well, intentional or not, it works out in the Wildcats' favors. Now there's 2 away, and here's Jeremy Comer. 1 for 2, a single and a strikeout. Watches 1 low and inside, ball 1. Swing and a miss and a breaking ball. Jeremy Comer, the redshirt sophomore from Shawnee, Kansas, as he pops one foul straight back on a curve. Started his collegiate career at Johnson County Community College in Kansas. Long hold, here's the 1-2. Ripped into left center field and deep. Rivera tracking back toward the wall, and it's off the wall on the fly. Rivera has to track it down. Racing towards third is Comer. He's in there with a triple as that ball rebounded hard off the left center field wall.
And what a hit by Comer. Blasted all the way, similar spot where Gonzalez's home run was earlier on in this game. And again, the Eagles are not going to go 1, 2, 3 every single inning. They're going to make it a competitive battle at the plate, and you saw it just there, already in scoring position.
Here's Hessemeyer with 2 down. He's flying to center twice. Fastball at the knee, strike 1 from Benedict. Again, pretty much everything that FGCU has hit tonight has been absolutely torched. That one rolled over towards third, and it goes off of both Lucena and Almonte, goes all the way into the bullpen, all the way to second goes Hessemeyer. Comer scores it at 6-0. Again, the Wildcat defense inches from making an inning-ending play.
And again, it's not like they're deliberate errors either. They're just trying to make plays out in the field, and it just gets by them in different sort of ways. Lucena, that's the second time that has happened to him. We saw earlier when he tried to make that diving catch towards that foul line. Almonte, they're trying to back him up, and both players going for the ball. It just disrupted it enough for their extra bases to be had for the Eagles, and they put another one across too.
Wildcats struggled last night with 2 outs, getting out of innings. And once again, the double play puts 2 outs on the board, and triple officially called a double after that double ricochet in the infield. 11 hits in 5 innings for FGCU. Breaking ball strike, 1-1 on Jarrett Nelson. Singled in the second, came around to score. That was that swinging bunt down the first base line that Rodriguez barely missed tagging him out on. Then struck out in the third. Line drive foul, wide of third. And it's 1-2. We'll be here for the third game of the conference of this weekend series, tomorrow at 1 p.m. here from the Jack. Ground ball, that splits the third and short gap. Racing around third, Hessemeyer scores, and it's 7-0.
Well, they're
Rip through the Wildcats like this. The Wildcats got swept in their opening series last year by Stony Brook, but all those games were close. Neither one of these games, outside maybe the first 3 innings of yesterday, has felt close, as Florida Gulf Coast has come in and exerted their will on the Wildcats once again. Another grounder towards third. This time snagged by Almonte, goes to second in time, and that will end the inning. But 3 runs, 3 hits, 1 left, all with 2 outs. And the Wildcats find themselves trailing 7-0 as we go to the bottom of the 5th here on the CatEye Radio Network and SWAC TV. 9-1-2 for the Wildcats in the bottom of the fifth. Sergio Rivera leads off. He's 0 for 1 with a fly to center in the eighth. The Wildcats have managed just 1 hit and 5 base runners through their first 4 innings.
The center fielder, number 19, Sergio Rivera.
Chris Davis cruising at 56 pitches through 4 right now. On track for the complete game if they let him ride. I don't think that will happen, but you never know.
You do never know. There's no movement over there in their bullpen either, aside for a few stretching. It doesn't look like anything's active in FGCU's bullpen just yet.
Fastball strike to Rivera, count 1-1. Combined between Sanchez and Michael Benedict, the Wildcats have thrown almost double the amount of pitches as Chris Diaz has today. Rivera tries to drop down a cheeky drag bunt, bunts it foul. It's 1-2. Last night was the first Friday loss of the season for Bethune-Cookman. Tonight might be the first Saturday loss of the year. That one's in the air to center field. That's going to drop in for a base hit, and the Wildcats finally have a second hit. As Rivera flares that one to shallow center.
Sometimes all you need is a spark. Sergio Rivera definitely can provide that. He does just there. In a game where a lot of balls have been hit right at defenders, that one just dropped right in the center field grass.
Here's the man that has the only other hit for the Wildcats, a leadoff double in the first down the left field line. After that, he was hit by a pitch and stranded on second in the third. Fastball strike at the knees on the inside corner, 0-1. Runner goes, throw down to second. Rivera is well there ahead of the throw as he picks up a steal. His 12th of the season. He's doubling up, or nearly doubling up, Jeter Poyeto, who's got 7 on the year. The 0-2 to Almonte, outside and high. FGCU started their season by winning 9 in a row. High fly ball, left field. And that'll be an easy catch for Lasher. Rivera holds at second base, 1 out. They swept North Dakota State and Stonehill. Beat Minnesota in a midweek series, then took the first of a 2-game set with Indiana State. But had lost 3 of their last 5 coming into the series. Split with Indiana State, took 2 out of 3 from Boston College, and then lost at UCF in the midweek. First pitch swing and a miss from Andre Martinez. He's 0 for 1 with a walk, struck out in the third, walked in the first. Still looking for that first hit back from his week away from the lineup with an injury. FGCU has owned the all-time series against the Wildcats, 28-15 at the start of play today. The Wildcats have not beat FGCU in this ballpark since before COVID, the 1st of March 2020. That was a 9-1 win for the Wildcats in only Johnny Hernandez's second season at the helm. Fouled away by Martinez. He stays alive. Diaz deals, grounded towards short, diving stop, throw across the diamond on 1, 2, 3 hops, and you can tell that Andre Martinez is struggling because normally he beats that out by a mile. He hobbles down to first, and there's out number 2 on a really nice play by Gonzalez.
And once again, FGCU's defense comes alive here. Martinez hits the ball well. Thought it might have gone through the gap, but just on the edge of the outfield, caught and thrown over. And like you mentioned, it was choppy steps to get Martinez over to first, and he's hobbling back to the dugout here.
Now with 2 away and a runner on third, here's Darrell Lee, and he almost gets hit, has to back out of the way of that breaking ball. And it's 1-0. Chris Diaz started as a freshman at Miami at a .589 ERA and a dozen appearances for the Hurricanes in 2024. Fastball in on the hand, strike 1. Then last year at a .480 ERA with FGCU, won 1 ASUN Pitcher of the Week award. Is someone who can go deep through 2 complete games last year and led the team in innings pitched. At a 6-2 record and 13 appearances with 12 starts for Diaz. He's trying to keep the Wildcats off the board. And that one's a fastball over-rotated down and in. Sergio Rivera 90 feet away with 2 outs in the 5th. Darrell Lee ahead in the count, 3 balls and a strike. And Lee almost got hit. He'll take a walk. And now runners on the corners with 2 down. Here's Jeter Poyeto, who has come up both times with runners in scoring position and has flied out to center and popped out on the infield both times.
And again, he had 2 triples in last night's game, and if it's the time to get that back going again for Jeter Poyeto, it's right now to clear these bases and allow his team to get some momentum back in this game.
That was pitch number 74 for Diaz. His longest outing of the season was 82 pitches in 5 1/3 innings against Boston College his last time out. Check swing, he went around, did Jeter Poyeto, and it's 1-1. Breaking ball, swing and a miss. Poyeto way late on that one as the Wildcat dugout tries to cheer on their redshirt sophomore transfer from Wake Forest. One, 2. In the air down the right field line. That is going to be a fair ball to get to the corner. Scoring from third is Rivera. Rounding third and trying to score all the way from first is Lee. Here's the throw to the plate. It goes up the line and gets away. Here comes Poyeto to the plate. It's an inside the park home run. And the Wildcats on the board with 3 runs here in the 5th.
Mike, it's that type of game. My mouth, my jaw on the floor, okay? We don't see that often. And when it's hit into the corner of who knows where the ball goes in there, over there, anything like that can happen. And when that ball got away from the catcher, I knew Johnny was going to send Jeter home. They need runs at this point, and what a way to get more, making an inside the park home run. A historic weekend for Jeter Poyeto. First triple.
Two triples.
Yeah. First of the season, and now an inside the Parker. Might as well, right?
Coach Hernandez better be careful he's not getting a call from Coach Jackson over at track and field.
No, really.
Hey, man, we need someone else for our 4x4 relay. You got anybody?
Hey.
That Poyeto kid can fly.
I don't know if Johnny would let him take it.
Count is 1-2 on Michael Lucena. And the pitch. Ground ball up the middle, off the mound, fielded into the chest of Hessemeyer. He throws to first to end the inning. 3 runs, 2 hits, nobody left. The Wildcats are on the board. They trail 7-2 as we go to the 6th here on the CatEye Radio Network and SWAC TV. Wildcats are on the board with a 3 spot in the 5th. We go to the 6th now. FGCU leads 7-3. Here from Jackie Robinson Ballpark. Michael Benedict throws pitch number 42 as he starts his 4th inning of work, throwing 3 1/3 so far. In relief of Edwin Sanchez, who left the game in the 2nd inning with an injury. There is some debate up here in the booth about who that error should be on. We will inform you that it is not an inside the park home run. Jeter Poyoto is going to be given a triple and an advancement on an error. We're debating on whether the error should be on the right fielder or the catcher either way. A little bit disappointing for Jeter, but I guess he'll take the run either way.
He was there for the memories of it all. He knows.
High fly ball down the right field line. That is dropping foul. Cole Lasher begins the 4th time through the order for FGCU. He's 0 for 3. 2 soft outs on the infield and a strikeout looking. And he's behind at the count 1-2 to Michael Benedict. So with those 3 runs that the Wildcats scored, since Benedict has taken the mound, Wildcats are up 3-2. That one up the middle. There's the first hit of the game for Lasher. And in between innings, I looked at you, Jade, and I said, expect a response. And
yeah.
Here it is right away from the Eagles. Runner on first, and here's John Embury, a familiar sight this weekend. He had 2 2-run homers last night. He's got 2 singles and 2 runs scored here this evening. Has had one heck of a weekend so far. Did strike out his last time up in the 4th. With Benedict now at 45 pitches. When do you think about starting bullpen action if you're the Wildcats? There's nobody up there right now. Breaking ball smashed foul into the Wildcat bullpen down the 3rd base line.
There is somebody just tossing, well, they were tossing that foul ball back, but there is somebody warming up with a band over there for the Wildcats, but sometimes the pitchers just do that just to move their arms, so we'll let you guys know and be aware if there any is other movement, but I would say probably soon, if you're the Wildcats, see if Benedict can finish out this inning, maybe half another one, and have somebody close out the game for the Wildcats.
And the Wildcats had to use 4 pitchers. Sorry, that's the wrong game. Flipped too far back in my scorebook. Used 5 pitchers last night. Abreu, Barroso, Diaz, and Gabe Moorer. Runner goes, ball gets to the backstop. And Lasher is in scoring position with nobody out. Last inning, the Wildcats had the bases empty with 2 outs. And then Comer tripled, Hessemeyer doubled, and Nelson singled to get 2 runs for FGCU to make it 7-0 at the time. Breaking ball, swing and a miss. 2 strikes on Embry. Benedict toes the rubber, and from the stretch, here's the 2-1. Ground ball into left field. There's a base hit. Runner will hold at third, and there's runners on the corners with nobody out. FGCU trying to nip this Wildcat rally in the bud immediately, and now a really tough spot for the Wildcats.
Again, Benedict throwing strikes. And that ball was just hammered through the gap. Michael Lucena, again, getting, if this was dirt, his jersey would be very dirty today with how much he's tried to lay out for these balls. They've just gone right past his glove because of how well they're hit.
Yeah, there have been not many soft contact for FGCU today. 14 hits, had 16 last night through 9. They've got 14 through 5 here tonight. And now Benedict with his back pressed firmly to the wall. Runners on the corners, nobody out. Outside and high on Gorostola. And the count is 2 balls, no strikes. Checking in once again on those SWAC scores from out of town. Southeastern Louisiana beat Grambling State 12-8 in the first of a doubleheader. UNC Asheville swept Alabama A&M in their doubleheader, 6-1 and 11-7. Sam Houston beat Prairie View A&M 16-1. I couldn't find a score for Houston and Pine Bluff. And that's a walk to load the bases with nobody out. Evan Dempsey comes to the batter's box, and Coach Sanchez is going to go out to buy Benedict some time and the bullpen some time. So last night there was a very similar spot for Evan Dempsey. He batted with 2 outs and the bases loaded in the 6th, and he ended up popping out to the shortstop to end that frame. But now, bases loaded, nobody out. He's reached base all 3 times, Evan Dempsey. 2 singles to right center and a walk. The single in the first was an RBI scoring Embry. And then after he walked in the 5th, he was caught in the middle of a 6-4-3 double play. More of those final scores from around the SWAC. South Florida beat Southern in the first of the doubleheader. And the second game of the doubleheader also goes South Florida's way, 9-2. Florida A&M beat Villanova 6-5. Mercer beat Alcorn State 10-5. Alabama State currently on top of Longwood 9-3. Looking to sweep a doubleheader there. Pop fly, left field. This will get the run in. Darrell Lee tracks it into the glove. Tagging from third is Lasher. And it is 8-3. Now Wilfred Gonzalez looking for a feel-good moment tonight. He's over 3, 2 Ks and a ground and a double play.
Now batting the shortstop, number 1, Wilfred Gonzalez.
Tennessee Martin is leading Mississippi Valley State 7-1, the bottom of the 8th. Jackson State is looking for a 2-0 lead in a series with Seattle. That one's tapped foul by Gonzalez. They're up 11-7 over the Red Hawks in the 7th. And Grambling State, after dropping the first of the doubleheader to Southeastern Louisiana, has come back to tie the game in the 5th. That game is currently delayed due to weather. As of 6 minutes ago.
Very prompt with your updates.
That's lucky. It's when I decide to look at it.
We can now see that Logan Wirt is warming up in the bullpen for the Wildcats. Hasn't pitched a ton this year. FIU Yale against Delaware State as well. 3 strikeouts for him and 3 runs. He's going to look to come in here and just close out this game for the Wildcats.
Breaking ball just missed the outside corner. We already talked about the squeezing of the outside of the zone, specifically with righties in the box from our home plate umpire, Ryan McCraney. The 2-1. Rocketed to right field, a base hit. Coming home from second is Embry. The throw to the plate is barely not in time. It is 9-3. Goristola moves from first to third. It's an RBI single for Gonzalez, his first hit of the game.
Now batting the right fielder, number 26, Jeremy Comer.
Now here's Jeremy Comer, who started the damage in the 5th. The Wildcats had 2 outs, nobody on him when he tripled in the air to the left field wall and started a 2-run rally there. He's got runners on the corners with 1 down, looking to really break this thing open if it wasn't already. A 6-run lead for FGCU restored, 9-3 currently. Pop fly, right field. Once again, that'll do enough to get the run in. Making the catch is Mikey Rodriguez. Scoring is Goristola. And for the 2nd straight night, FGCU has hit double digits. It's 10-3.
Runner also advances from first to second for FGCU. And again, with no outs in that situation, they are able to add runs on now, like you mentioned, in double digits. And that throw looked a little bit errant by Mikey Rodriguez. Might have slipped out of his hand because it dribbled to the first baseman, Georgie, instead of home plate. So just a miscue there on that throw as well.
Florida Gulf Coast has now scored 10-plus runs in 7 of their 14 games. That one fly to right. Rodriguez ends the threat. 3 runs, 4 hits, 2 left, and it is 10-3 FGCU as we go to the bottom of the 6th. Just when the Wildcats thought they had some momentum, the Eagles rip it away from them here on the CatEye Radio Network and SWAC TV. 78 pitches deep. Chris Diaz continues on the mound for FGCU. Maybe a little bit of crack starting to show in that last inning as the Wildcats were able to plate 3 runs. But his offense has done well enough. 10 runs on 15 hits through 6. As Mikey Rodriguez leads off for the Wildcats. He's 0 for 2, a fly out and a pop out on the infield. And he got plunked on the elbow. He got hit once last night, too, as he reached base 3 times on 2 walks and a hit by pitch.
Added to the
now 37
hit by pitches
for the Wildcats this year.
Now batting for the Wildcats, the catcher, number 44, Jose Fernandez.
You're going to start me doing some deep dives onto program records and things like that, and it's only March.
Right? We are still in the beginning.
We're not even in conference play yet.
No.
First pitch, a breaking ball strike to Jose Fernandez. He's 0 for 2. Grounded out to third, lined out to center. That was the second hit by pitch for Diaz today. He gets Fernandez to swing and miss it. It's 0-2. Hit Eric Almonte back in the third as well. Up and in by the head of Fernandez, forcing him to lean back, 1-2. You can hear the effort that Chris Diaz is still putting into each and every one of his pitches. An audible grunt there as pitch number 81 flies in. Off the end of the bat, high drive to right field. Going back is Comer. He'll make the catch and force Michael Rodriguez to retreat to first base, 1 away. That's another one that looked pretty good off the bat, just kind of died. And the wind is blowing lazily out towards left center tonight. Here's Jorge Rodriguez, 0 for 2, a strikeout and a fly out to center. One out, bottom 6. Slider away, ball 1. It's going to be a wild week for us here at BCU Sports Information Land.
Yes.
We've got the closing game of this series tomorrow afternoon. There's a strike, and it's 1-1. Then we are hitting the road pretty much immediately afterwards. We're going from here to the office and out of town up to Atlanta for the SWAC men's and women's basketball tournaments. Swing and a miss. 2 strikes on Rodriguez. BCU women will start us off on Monday at 11 a.m. They play the first game of the tournament. They'll be one of the first 2 teams to touch the floor at the Gateway Center Arena in Atlanta. High pop, shallow center. 3 Eagles converge, and it's Hessemeyer, the second baseman, who calls everybody off and makes the catch. 2 down. Here's Sergio Rivera, who singled to start the 5th, ended up coming around to score on the triple by Jeter Poyeto. Other than that, he's flown out to center tonight.
The first baseman, number 33,
The Wildcats only won 4 regular season games, but the opening draw, and really the first 2 rounds of the draw, kind of favorable to the Wildcat women. They get teams that they beat in the 2 of their 4 wins that are teams on their side of the bracket. They'll start with Texas Southern, who they swept in the regular season, and Florida A&M, who they split with, each team winning at home.
And it's hard to beat teams twice. It's hard to beat teams 3 times. And for the Lady Wildcats, again, you're in season number 3. You're in that postseason play. Anything can happen when you're in conference tournament. That's why they call it the beauty of March Madness. You never know what can happen.
And if you're following specifically the men's tournaments that have been going on this week, this March has been particularly mad in terms of mid-major upsets. You got Belmont going out early. a 2-win Gardner-Webb team knocking out USC Upstate in the Big South tournament.
Crazy.
Then in the NEC, there's a semifinal, I think tomorrow, with a tournament berth on the line. The winner of that semifinal will get the automatic qualifying spot because Mercyhurst is still reclassifying from Division II, and they made the NEC final. So chaos going on all over the place in men's basketball. It is that best and worst time of year to be a college sports. It's the best time of year to be a college sports fan.
Right.
It's the worst time of year to be working in college sports because you got everything all at once.
Everything's going on. You don't know what to watch or where to look.
Count is 3-1 on Sergio Rivera. That one thrown straight down the middle. And now we have action in the FGCU bullpen here as Diaz is one pitch away from throwing pitch number 90. Number 90 is a fastball strike belt high, and it's 3-2 on Rivera. Diaz looking to finish off the 6th inning here. The 3-2 pitch. Rivera pops it up into shallow left. Calling off everybody to make the catches. Lasher. Nothing on, no hits and one left as we go to the 7th. Potential run rule territory here as it's 10-3 FGCU over the Wildcats on the CatEye Radio Network and SWAC TV. Logan Wirt takes over for Michael Benedict as we go to the 7th. A 7-run lead for FGCU, 10-3. 3 runs puts them in run rule range now as we hit the 7th. Jarrett Nelson leads off. 2 for 3 with 2 singles and a run scored tonight for Nelson. Breaking ball low from Logan Wirt, making his 4th appearance of the season. He's got a 3.18 ERA, 3 appearances, 5 2/3 innings pitched. He's allowed 3 runs on 1 hit, 3 strikeouts, 2 walks. Slider outside, 2-0. Credited with the save in the 14-7 win against Delaware State last Saturday. Fastball fouled off of the inside of the thigh of Jarrett Nelson, and he is gingerly walking around behind the plate as the count is 2-1. We talked about the women's tournament coming up and the Wildcats' chances trying to claw their way out of the 11 seed. The men are the number 1 overall seed, 14-4 in the regular season. Coming in off a loss, though, to Florida A&M on Thursday. Florida A&M, the number 2 seed. That win was big for them as it secured them a double bye. And it feels in all of our conversations we've come back to the same point that really anybody can win on the men's side. It was so much parity in the regular season. Wildcats ended up winning the regular season by 2 games over FAMU. Up and in ball 4 as leadoff walk to Nelson. But I wouldn't put it past Florida A&M, Alabama A&M, Grambling State, Jackson State, anybody getting hot for a week and going and winning that conference tournament. It's going to be an entertaining week.
Yeah, it's really anybody's game once you get down into that tournament style where you're playing every day. This is the 3rd time you're going to see these teams, so the familiarity's there. It's really just going to be about who's showing up on every given day.
And Coach Theus was very frustrated after the loss to Florida A&M, saying we're way better than this team, and we let them beat us. Hopefully, Wildcats hoping to not repeat that feat for at least 3 more games. Their first game will be Wednesday at 2 p.m. Breaking ball outside. Logan Wirt, a season ago, had a .429 ERA, 13 appearances. Had a negative strikeout to walk differential, struck out 16, walked 21. That's off the end of the bat and sends green and blue jerseys scattering in the FGCU bullpen. Ahead in the count 1-2 on Drew Seidel, who is 1 for 2 with a fielder's choice, doubled and scored in the 2nd. And struck out in the 3rd. Already reinforcements throwing for the Wildcats in the bullpen. And FGCU, for the first time today, has work going on down there. Stetson Callaway is warming up for FGCU. Breaking ball into center field. That's going to drop in for a base hit. 2 on, nobody out for the Eagles. Bring us back to the top of the order for Cole Lasher. Lasher 1 for 4. Strikeout, pop out, line out, both on the infield. And then singled to center and scored in the 6th. As the Gulf Coast Eagles start their 5th time through the order here in the 7th. Line drive to right, caught by Rodriguez. Tagging and going to 3rd is Nelson. And runners on the corners with 1 down. So another RBI opportunity here for John Embry, who's 3 for 4, 3 singles and 3 runs scored.
Yeah, the Eagles just continue to add opportunities for themselves to drive runs in. They have not let up this entire game, put has stayed on the gas pedal. And it looks like they're trying to go for that run roll as well.
Embry would get him there if this one leaves the yard. They currently lead at 10-3. First pitch, swing and a miss, strike 1. The Wildcats have not been run ruled so far this season. Their losses: a 1-run loss to Bradley, a 12-5 loss to FIU, an 8-3 loss to Yale, a 5-2 loss to Miami, and 11-5 last night. Breaking ball up and in. 1-1 on Embry. We'll have all the action from the upcoming SWAC tournament on bcuathletics.com/radio, youtube.com/CatEye Network, as there's a check swing in the dirt, 2-1. And 1380 WELE radio here in Daytona Beach. Nike is the official outfitter of the Bethune-Cookman Wildcats. You can gear up on the newest BCU Nike gear at nike.com/Bethune-Cookman Wildcats. Nelson on third, Seidel on first. 1 out in the inning, and the pitch to Embry. Is a line drive to center field. Well hit. Back goes Rivera. Track wall. Adios, amigos. And we now have run rule range. The third home run of the weekend from John Embry. That was to dead center field to the batter's eye, and it's 13-3.
And again, he just continues to show why he is one of the most powerful bats in not only the ASUN, but the NCAA. And this FGCU team is riding high. What an absolute bomb by John Embry. That one was just straight away center field, the deepest part of this ballpark here at Jackie Robinson Ballpark. And the light has been completely snuffed out of the Wildcats right now.
Base is empty for Javier Goristola. He had the other home run tonight for FGCU with 3-run bomb back in the second. Fouled away 0-1. That one hit Goristola on the elbow guard, and the inning continues with just 1 out. That'll bring up Evan Dempsey.
Now batting the designated hitter, number 25, Evan Dempsey.
And I would not be surprised if BCU makes a pitching change either this batter or next. Dawson Turner warmed up a lot last night, never came in the game. He's up and throwing again. Has been since the midway point of the last inning. Here comes Coach Hernandez. That'll be the end for Logan Wirt. A quick trip for Wirt. He gives up 3 runs on 2 hits, walks 1, hits a batter, and only records 1 out. Won't help the old ERA that much.
No, not at all. And they're trying to see if pitcher in the bullpen is ready. It seems like they're making some looks, and he will step onto the mound. And what an evening for the Wildcats. You know, with head coach Johnny Hernandez, he is a coach that instills belief into his players, and we haven't really seen since Edwin went down in the very beginning of this game. You really didn't see any sort of motivation or energy to really pull this team out of that rut this whole game. And yeah, that speaks to the dugout just not really celebrating those exciting moments in the game, or not really allowing themselves to play free because they know they have to play from behind. And so I think those are the things you figure out when you're playing these non-conference series, especially against very quality opponents in FGCU, and credit to them because it has been a spectacular 2 games of baseball for them, confidence-wise, especially coming off that UCF loss. But for this Wildcats team, this is going to be a telling series, I feel like, for the rest of their season, especially, and you know, we have 1 more game tomorrow. But these 2 games specifically are going to be an eye-opening moment for these boys, and say, who are we going to be when adversity strikes us, and how can we change that going forward?
Dawson Turner is the graduate transfer from St. Leo University in the Division II level. Will make his 3rd appearance of the season. Has thrown an inning in 2/3. His ERA is 32.40. Against FIU, get the ignominy of getting an infinity ERA. Gave up 3 runs on no hits on 3 walks.
What was that word?
Ignominy.
Wow. What does it even mean?
It means, it's a polite way of saying disgraceful.
Oh, okay. Sorry, Dawson.
But yeah, no, he walked in 3 runs in 3 straight batters. And then against Delaware State, when an inning in 2/3, gave up 4 runs on 3 hits, all earned. Striking out 2, walking 1. That was in the 14-7 win for the Wildcats. That was the second of the 4 games of that series. Stay up to date with everything Bethune-Cookman Athletics by checking out the Wildcats on social media. Give BCU Athletics a like on Facebook and follow the Wildcats on X and Instagram at BCU_Athletics. For the latest on BCU baseball, follow at BCU Diamondcats on X and Instagram. So Dempsey, after a long wait for the pitching change, will step in. 3 runs already in the inning for FGCU. They have the Wildcats in run range. They have more hits in 7 innings than they had in 9 last night. 13 runs on 17 hits. Lefty to lefty, the first pitch by Turner is a strike at the letters. Wildcats will be down to potentially the final 3 outs when they bat in the bottom of the 7th. Still got to get 2 more here in the top of the inning. Bounced foul outside of first. 2 strikes on Dempsey. Logan Wirt came in to pitch at the beginning of the inning, walked Nelson, gave up a single to Seidel, got Lasher to fly out to right, then John Embry had a 3-run homer straightaway center, then hit Garistola. That was the end of his work. And now it's Dawson Turner. Pop fly, third base side, trailing toward the wall. It will get out of play. And land right on the head of the construction caterpillar out there just beyond the Wildcat bullpen. The Daytona Tortugas announced that they would be opening their 2026 season with limited capacity as the construction continues here at the Jack. The whole third base concourse is completely torn up. The 0-2 once again to Dempsey, and the lanky lefty Dawson Turner deals outside. Ground ball foul into the FGCU dugout. Wildcats set to drop their first series of the season. Took 2 of 3 from Bradley, split with Yale, and then swept Delaware State last weekend. Ground ball towards short. Backhanded and off the glove of Almonte. First error of the game for the Wildcats, 2 on with 1 out. And the middle infield continues to struggle defensively early on this season. Here's Wilfred Gonzalez. He's 1 for 4. A single, 2 strikeouts, and ground into a double play. Grounder to short again. This time a flip to second for 1. Poyeto on to first. There's a double play. And that's the end of the inning. 3 runs, 2 hits, an error, and 2 left. And we go to the bottom of the 7th. Wildcats down to their final 3 outs here on the CatEye Radio Network and SWAC TV. Chris Diaz finishes an excellent night of work for FGCU. 6 innings, 95 pitches, gives up 3 runs on 3 hits. Just one of those runs earned. Strikes out 3 walks, 4 hits, 2 batters. And he hands over for potentially the final 3 outs of this one to Stetson Callaway, the junior from Tuscola, Texas, the transfer from Abilene Christian. The righty makes his 3rd appearance of the season, will face the top of the Wildcat order. Here's Eric Almonte. First pitch to him hit him right on the ribs. What are we at now, 38?
And the second for Eric Almonte tonight?
Yeah. 3rd hit by pitch tonight, 2nd against Eric Almonte. And he will be aboard with nobody out. Callaway, only an inning and a 3rd pitched so far this season, went 1 full inning against Indiana State, struck out 3 all batters he faced. Then faced 3 batters against Boston College on the 28th of February. Just went a 1/3 of an inning there. Faced 3 batters, gave up 1 run on 1 hit. It was a double. Threw 1 wild pitch as well. Pinch hitter for the Wildcats, this is Caleb Scott, as Andre Martinez's night is done. We saw him limping off after grounding out to short his last time up. Caleb Scott, this is only his 9th at-bat of the season. 2 runs on 1 hit. He checks his swing and takes the ball low. That 1 hit was against Delaware State, 2nd of the doubleheader last Saturday. Fastball low. 2 balls, 1 strike on Caleb Scott. Scott, the junior from Orlando, the transfer from Wallace Dothan College in Alabama. As he watches another one low, 3 balls, 1 strike. Stetson Callaway has been a little bit wild since coming on, as there are replacements in the wings for FGCU already.
They're ready to preserve this lead as much as they can with multiple arms ready to throw.
Callaway in the dirt, ball 4, 2 on, nobody out. So hit by pitch walk. And the Wildcats, for only the 3rd time today, have a runner in scoring position. Eric Almonte was stranded on 3rd in the 1st after a leadoff double. Then, of course, Sergio Rivera, Darrell Lee, and Jeter Poyeto all came in the 5th for the Wildcats' only runs of the game. And now Eric Almonte trots the 2nd, and that might be the 2nd extremely quick hook we have seen from head coach Dave Tillett. Last night, John Abreu only threw 3 pitches, although that was an injury concern that ruled him out. And he's done.
He wants to preserve this lead. He wants to get out of this game earlier. He doesn't want the Wildcats to have any more life back in them like it seems that they might have. So very short leash for his pitcher, but knows that he has other people he can rely on.
So Callaway is done. We'll have another FGCU pitcher. Support the Wildcats like never before. Bethune-Cookman Athletics has partnered with Influxer to bring you officially licensed, co-branded NIL merchandise featuring your favorite players' names and numbers. Proceeds from each purchase directly support Wildcat student athletes. Show your support for your favorite Wildcats today at bcuathletics.com/NIL merch. And after this weekend, I might be tempted to grab myself a Darrell Lee jersey.
I would love to see you rep that. I was gifted a Ruben Zueni shirt by his family that will be sporting tomorrow
Yeah.
during the game.
Well,
So
the Zawani family are a almost constant presence here
yes.
supporting their son, whether he's in the lineup or not, and always wearing the jersey
Yep,
every time
always.
they're out here.
Always. You have to support, have to show out, and those are not bought anywhere. Those are made. So shout out to the Zweeney family. Maybe they should sell them. Make some money that way. Creating NIL deals.
Trying to catch a number on the new FGCU pitcher here. I believe it is number 33, Maddox Meeks. He's pitching in his backyard, originally from New Smyrna, pitched at New Smyrna Beach High School, now a sophomore for FGCU. Meeks made 4 appearances as a freshman with a 4.15 ERA. This season he has 1 appearance to date, 3 innings against North Dakota State on opening night. That was the game that the Eagles won 19-18. Everybody got in that game. Gave up a run on 2 hits, struck out 6, walked 1. A very good appearance in that game for Meeks, and he'll try and get the final 3 outs necessary to retire the Wildcats early here on Saturday night. A tall, lanky right-hander, 6'4" his listed height, and he'll face Darrell Lee, who is 0 for 1 with 2 walks and a run scored. Darrell Lee has been on 5 times over these 2 games, but only has 1 hit. That was a double last night. Other than that, walks and hit by pitches. First pitch, a ball low and away. Meeks deals. Ground ball to short, could be 2, and it's off the glove of Gonzalez. He throws to third, and everybody is safe. Base is loaded for the Cats. For the 2nd time in the game, they loaded him up in the 1st, didn't bring anybody across. Now they got a chance here in the 7th.
Now batting the second baseman, number 2, Jeter Pugliano.
Officially ruled an error on the shortstop, so the 2nd error of the game by FGCU. In the air, down the right field line. Jeter Pugliano will watch that one go foul barely. Well, if there's anybody you want up in this situation this week, it is Jeter Pugliano, who has 3 triples in 2 games. And probably should have had an inside the park home run earlier this game. It was called a triple and an error.
He'll remember it as an inside the Parker.
Almonte on 3rd, Scott on 2nd, Lee on 1st after a hit by pitch, walk, and an error. Way outside. The ball pops out of the glove of Embry behind the plate. I'm sure growing up in this area and being a baseball kid, Maddox Meeks spent plenty of time in this ballpark watching, well, it would have been the Daytona Cubs back then, now Daytona Tortugas. So probably a special moment for him to come pitch in this ballpark. Ground ball to short, this time fielded cleanly by Gonzalez. They will turn 2. A run will score, and the Wildcats will stave off the run rule as it is now 13-4.
Now batting the third baseman, number 10, Michael Lucena.
That'll bring up Lucena with Caleb Scott on 3rd and 2 down. Lucena 0 for 2 with a walk tonight. First pitch, low ball 1. Nope, called a strike. we will see FGCU up in the 8th. As that one's low and away. Nice piece of redemption for Wilfred Gonzalez there after committing the error and getting a ball hit right back at him and turning the double play.
Yeah, that ball was drilled right at him, too.
Meeks' 2-0 is a swing and a miss on a curveball. Correction, it was the 1-1. Now it's 1-2. Meeks one pitch away from getting out of the inning. He came on with the bases loaded, nobody out. Tipped into the knee pad of Embury. And Lucena stays alive. Wildcats 4 runs on only 3 hits tonight. They have been completely shut down, mostly by starting pitcher Chris Diaz. One, two. Got a piece of it, did Lucena, will do it again. FGCU will look for the sweep tomorrow at 1 p.m. Low and away, 2-2. Florida Gulf Coast picked to finish second in the ASUN Graphite division behind Stetson, who has struggled to start the year. So right now, very much favorites. Another grounder to short. Charging is Gonzalez. He'll field it cleanly, and that's the end of the inning. A run on no hits, 1 error, and 1 left. And we will see the 8th inning of play as it is 13-4 here on the CatEye Radio Network and SWAC TV. The Wildcats stave off a run rule in the 7th. We go to the 8th, 13-4. FGCU leads. Jeremy Comer leads off. Dawson Turner continues on the hill for the Wildcats. He came in relief with 1 out in the 7th after Logan Wirt allowed 3 runs. He got out of the inning by forcing a double play by Wilfred Gonzalez. Pitch to Comer is a breaking ball that slashes through the zone for strike 1. Tomorrow's expected pitching matchup, Tanner Bocabello will throw for the Wildcats. Hunter Hosell for FGCU. Ground ball to short. That's the hot spot right now. Almonte lasers it over to first, and the throw pulls Rodriguez off the bag. Another error for the Wildcat shortstop. He has committed both Wildcat errors tonight, once in the 7th and now once in the 8th. Had to get that one over there quickly, but still charged with the error. 1 on, nobody out. Here's Hassemeyer. Hassemeyer 1 for 4. Doubled off the glove of Lucena at third base in the 5th. Other than that, 3 flyouts, 2 to center, 1 to right. Swings and foul tips a breaking ball 0-1. Head coach Dave Tollett for FGCU is a rare breed among all coaches in college athletics. Has been in one spot for his entire career, and he's been the only head coach in FGCU baseball history now in his 24th season at the helm in Fort Myers.
That's special. You don't see that a lot. And in days where transfer portal is thing for players, it's similar with coaches. And to have a guy who built a program up and see where they're at right now, it's extremely special for this FGCU squad. And for players who want to come play for the school as well.
Bounced foul outside of third, 2 strikes. He's a 5-time ASUN Coach of the Year. He's coached 52 players that have gone on to be drafted in the MLB. And one of the things you can look to determine the culture of a program in this modern day and age of transfer portal, and it seems like players are just mercenaries jumping schools every year, as that one's lined up the middle for a base hit. Is the amount of players that stick with your program year over year, and a lot of these FGCU players have either transferred once and stayed, or were recruited out of high school and have played their whole careers in Fort Myers. Now it's Drew Nelson, 2 on, nobody out. Nelson has scored twice, has 2 singles, a walk. And has been terrific defensively at first base all weekend. Jarrett Nelson, from the senior from Nixa, Missouri. Breaking ball, strike to Nelson. Two on, nobody out, an error and a single by Comer and Hessmeyer, respectively. Nelson calls time, now climbs back into the right-handed batter's box to face the tall lefty Dawson Turner. Leans over in his 6'8" frame and deals, swing and a miss. Nelson fooled by the slider, and it's 1-2. Dawson in his 5th college season, 2 at Polk State at the community college level and 2 at St. Leo. Ground ball bounced toward third. Across the diamond, not in time from Lucena, and the bases are loaded with nobody out. That was just a slow roller that Lucena didn't quite charge quickly enough.
There was a runner going in front of him, so he couldn't charge all the way, and fired the ball as fast as he possibly could, but just not enough.
Bases loaded, nobody out for the 2nd time in 3 innings. They had that in the 6th, ended up scoring 3 runs. First pitch, a swing and miss by Drew Seidel. Dawson Turner last year at St. Leo, 18 appearances, 12 starts, 3-3 with a .574 ERA. In 58 innings, had 44 strikeouts and 37 walks with a .279 batting average against. Swing and a miss, breaking ball low, 0-2 for Seidel. Seidel 2 for 3 with a fielder's choice. doubled in the second, scored, singled in the seventh, scored, struck out in the third. Fielder's choice in the sixth. That time a breaking ball low didn't offer at it. 1-2. Comer on third, Hessmeyer on second, Nelson on first. Swinging a foul tip right at home plate. We'll do the 1-2 again. Apologies, it's pretty loud here with bikes going by on Orange Avenue out behind us to our right. Swing and a miss. Turner strikes out Seidel. He goes down swinging for the second time today. There's one out in the inning. Back to the top of the order with Cole Lasher. Lasher, 1 for 5. Strikeout,
The left fielder, number 19.
fly out, pop out, line out, and a single and scored in the sixth, as well as a stolen base, as he bats with the bases loaded and 1 out here in the eighth. 13-4 FGCU. Turner deals. Swing and a foul tip. Strike 1. Cole Lasher, freshman out of powerhouse St. Thomas Aquinas High School in Fort Lauderdale. Fouled away again, 0-2. Lasher yesterday 2 for 6. 2 singles, caught on the base paths both times on 2 double plays. Breaking ball, caught the outside corner, strike 3. Back-to-back Ks for Turner, and there's 2 outs.
And Dawson right now working with the bases loaded. Obviously, pressure-filled situations, you don't want to allow FGCU to get any more runs across right now. We had no outs and the bases were loaded. Now up 2, all you need is something easy right now to get your offense back to the plate.
John Embry is done for tonight. Here is Juan Santos to pitch hit.
42, Juan Santos.
The freshman from Puerto Rico stands in with the bases loaded and 2 down. First pitch to him, a slider high, ball 1. Santos making only his second at-bat of the season, had 1 in the midweek against UCF. Other than that, it's been used as a pinch runner in games against Stonehill and Indiana State. Struck out at his only at-bat on Wednesday. Swing and a miss and a fastball low. Turner a chance to strand him loaded. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. There's strike 2. The graduate student against the freshman. The 2-strike pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Dawson Turner sees the bases loaded, nobody out on an error and 2 singles, then strikes out Seidel, Lasher, and Santos to get out of the inning. No runs, 2 hits, bases left loaded with 1 error. We go to the bottom of the 8th, 13-4 Wildcats here on the CatEye Radio Network. Third pitcher of the game enters, actually fourth pitcher of the game enters for FGCU here to start the 8th. This is the senior from Barrington, Illinois, Logan Eisenbarth. He warmed up last night but never entered the game. He'll face Michael Rodriguez.
Wildcats, number 5, Michael Rodriguez.
His ERA is 11.25, Eisenbarth. In 3 appearances, 4 innings pitched. First pitch, upstairs, ball 1. He's allowed 6 runs on 9 hits, 5 of those earned. Striking out 2, not walking anybody. He's allowed 4 doubles, 1 homer. Hasn't thrown a wild pitch, hasn't hit anybody. In there at the knees for a strike. Didn't record an out against Stonehill. Faced 3 batters through 10 pitches, allowed 1 run on 3 hits. Then in 2 1/3 against Indiana State, gave up 2 runs on 3 hits as well. Swing and a miss from Rodriguez, 2 strikes. Then in an inning and 2/3, gave up 3 runs on 3 hits. So he's given up exactly 3 hits every time he's been on the mound. Rodriguez smacks that one into right field, and that's going to drop in for a base hit. Eisenbarth, the transfer from Division III powerhouse, University of Wisconsin at Whitewater.
Your attention, please. Pinch hitting for Bethune-Cookman, number 22, Jacob Estrada.
Jacob Estrada is going to replace Jose Fernandez in the order and behind the plate. Freshman catcher rips one down the first baseline, foul into the Yingling flight deck. Eisenbarth spent 3 years for the Warhawks of Wisconsin. Whitewater had a career ERA of 3.38. Yeah, getting his chance at the Division I level as a senior. Estrada watches a fastball down the middle. Jacob Estrada making his 11th at-bat of the season. A run on 3 hits, 2 RBI for Estrada. He's walked 3 times and struck out 3 times. Check swing upstairs. He did not go around. Count is 2-2. Low and away, count runs full on Estrada. We've seen Logan Estrada get some looks in the starting lineup. He started 2 games this season. He pops it up on the infield. It's going to go foul territory and bounce out of the glove of the catcher all the way over there by the wall. And so Estrada gets a second lease on life. Juan Santos is now catching. He sees an opportunity for a put-out go begging. Estrada back in. Here's the 3-2. Ground ball. That's under the glove of Gonzalez and into center field. Rodriguez is going to head on to third. He'll be in there without a throw. And the Wildcats have runners on the corners with Nobody out.
You're hearing a little bit more excitement from the dugout for the Wildcats. Again, they're getting runners in scoring position. The very first inning of this game, they had the bases loaded and just couldn't get any across. So it hasn't been, I mean, score-wise, it's been a domination of the Eagles, but the Wildcats have had the chance to score runs. They just haven't been able to get any across. And then just the lack of plays being made on defense has not allowed them to really get back to the plate quickly.
Pinch hitting for Bethune-Cookman, number 28, Ruben Duane.
Here's Ruben Zueni pinch hitting for Jorge Rodriguez. Swing and a miss, strike one. Zueni, a 182 average on the season. 11 at-bats, 4 runs, 2 hits, 2 doubles, 2 RBI, 8 strikeouts, 4 walks. He's down 0-2. Upstairs, 1-2. I've noticed that Jose Fernandez's night is not done. He has switched with Jacob Estrada. He's now the bullpen catcher. So he went from in the game now to bullpen catcher as a ball escapes the FGCU bullpen and rolls onto the field.
Play whatever role you need.
Rodriguez on third, Estrada on first after a pair of singles to open up the 8th. Breaking ball smashed to left field and deep. Back, track, wall. It is caught on the track by Lasher. Coming in to score is Michael Rodriguez. It is 13-5. And again, Ruben Zueni misses a maiden college home run by a couple feet. Has done it a couple times this year.
Yeah, and you're just seeing the raw power from the freshman. I mean, those are gone in BP, and he's just continuing to show why he is a bright spot for the future of this Wildcat side.
Sergio Rivera now with Estrada on first and 1 out. Fastball at the knee, strike one. Well, the Wildcats have equaled their run output from last night. They've scored 5. Ball gets away from the catcher. Estrada trounces down to second on the wild pitch. Rivera tonight 1 for 3, singled and scored in the 5th, and then flew out to center once and left once. Strike right down the middle. 1 and 2. Up and in. 2-2. Florida Ghost Coast has nearly doubled up on the Wildcats in terms of number of at-bats tonight, 41-26. Grab ball to short, fielded by Gonzalez on a face-high hop across the diamond, 2 away. Estrada does go to third.
Move the runner again in scoring position. Sergio Rivera, tough at bat for him, but saw a lot of pitches. Now they'll pass the bat to Almonte, who comes up again in this game. Hoping not get hit by a pitch this time.
Almonte's been hit by 2 pitches, also doubled and flying out to left. Scored a run in the 7th. Fouls it away. 0-1. Big cut and miss and a breaking ball. 0-2 on Almonte. Ground ball to second. Fielded and underhanded to first by Hessemeyer. That'll do it. A run on 2 hits and 1 left. We go to the 9th, 13-5 FGCU here on the CatEye Radio Network and Swag TV. Sammy Seplow will come on to pitch the 9th for Bethune-Cookman. Jacob Estrada goes to catcher. Ruben Zawani now playing first. As the bench begins to clear for FGCU, this is Merrick Raposa batting in place of Javier Goristola. First pitch, a ball from Seplow. This is the 2nd appearance of the season for Seplow. Went an inning against Bradley, gave up 4 runs on 2 hits, struck out 2, walked 2. That was in the 17-6 win for the Wildcats on night 2 of the season. He is behind in the count, 3 balls, no strikes on Merrick Raposa, a freshman from Fleming Island. There's a strike, 3-1. The 3-1 pitch is a swing and a miss. 3-2. Seplow, the junior transfer from Hillsborough Community College, originally out of Tampa, Florida. Last year made 17 appearances, 0-3 with a 6.08 ERA at Hillsborough, and he loses Raposa for a leadoff walk. 24 strikeouts to 16 walks for Seplow. Evan Dempsey will remain in the game and bat for the 7th time tonight. 2 singles, a walk, a sac fly RBI, and a reach on an error for Dempsey tonight. Sammy Seplow went to Alonzo High School over in Tampa. As he puts that one behind the batter, the throw to second skips away. Raposa on to second. One and one the count on Dempsey. Outside and low. Dempsey, one of the favorites for the John Olerud Two-Way Player of the Year award. He pitched last night against Bethune-Cookman, went 5 innings, struck out 8. He was the winner of that award in 2025. The 3-1. Seplow loses him, and there's 2 on, both on walks. The beauty and sometimes horror of baseball is there's no clock. It only ends when you get all 29 or 27 outs, or less if there's a run rule. FGCU had a chance to run rule the Wildcats in the 7th with a 13-3 lead, but the Wildcats plated 1 in the bottom of the 7th to stave that off. And now a meeting of the infield on the mound to try and get Sammy Seplow to throw strikes. And here comes Coach Hernandez, and that'll be the end for Seplow. And the Wildcats will move to pitcher number 6 on the night. So Seplow throws just 11 pitches. Walks Raposa and Dempsey, and then leaves the ball game. Edwin Sanchez started the game and struggled mightily. A complete aberration from his normal dominance on the mound. Went 1 2/3 innings, gave up 5 runs on 8 hits. Struck out 3, left the game due to an injury. Michael Benedict came in and was solid for a while, but eventually broke down after 4 1/3 innings, gave up 5 runs on 7 hits. Wirt gave up 2 runs on 3 hits. Turner gave up nothing on 2 hits, and then now Seplow has walked 2 batters. As we have warm-up pitches for Ethan Diaz. He will appear for the 2nd straight night, pitched last night.
He pitched good last night. He just seemed very comfortable and like a dog on the mound, like ready to pitch, very energetic. You saw him when he was just jogging on the field. He just takes on this persona when he's on the mound. He's a pretty quiet kid off of the baseball diamond, very pretty to himself, but when he steps onto the field, and especially on the mound, he becomes a different person. A competitive energy just comes out of him, and The Wildcats are going to need it right now with runners and one on first
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention, please.
and second, just ready for more runs to come across
Yep.
for the Eagles.
Diaz, the junior transfer from the University of Arkansas at Rich Mountain. Last night was only his second appearance of the season. Went 2/3 of an innings, did walk 3, but didn't give up a run. Faced 5 batters. As the Wildcats trail 13-5 here in the top of the 9th. Sammy Seplow started the inning. On the mound through 11 pitches, walked both Merrick Raposa and Evan Dempsey, and now here's Ethan Diaz as the Wildcats. You got who's left down there. We haven't seen John Carlos Zambrano. We saw Pablo Torres very briefly last night. Justin Morales is off with Team Netherlands at the World Baseball Classic. And Isaiah Ducassi started on Wednesday against Miami. First pitch down and away. Another pinch hitter here for FGCU. This is Maddox Meeks, who was on the mound an inning ago. Now going to get, oh, my apologies, 23, not 33. Tyler Herb is the batter, and Herb lifts this one down the left field line and foul. Tyler Herb, the sophomore from Mount Dora, Florida. Now in his second season with the Eagles program. Last year, started 38 of 54 games. Batted .280. 13 runs, 28 hits, a homer, and 12 RBI. He is punched out looking. As Ethan Diaz gets the first out of the inning. Jeremy Comer remains in the game for FGCU. He'll take his 6th at-bat tonight. He's reached base 3 times, scored 1, singled in the 3rd, tripled and scored in the 5th, reached on an error in the 8th. Breaking ball strike, outside corner from Diaz. Breaking ball misses outside. There's a strike. Alabama State swept a doubleheader with Longwood, 11-6 and 9-3. Tennessee Martin beat Mississippi Valley 9-1. Grambling State and Southeastern Louisiana have resumed after rain delays, 4-4 the 6th there. Jackson State survived a late charge from Seattle to take a 2-0 lead in their series. That final score was 13-12. Jackson State had 18 hits. UT Martin beat Mississippi Valley State 9-1. Southern dropped a twin bill to South Florida. Final score of that second game was 9-2. That's in the air to center field. Rivera makes the catch, 2 down. And we will now have Keaton Kangas pinch hitting for Caden Hessemeyer.
Now batting for FGCU, number 5, Keaton Kangas.
Kangas loses his bat into the dugout. It clangs off the rail and ends up in the net.
This game has been a lot of what does in every sense of the term. You had a triple slash maybe inside the park home run, that happening. Bunch of mishap plays from both sides, honestly.
Keaton Kangas is a sophomore from Lake Worth, Florida, out of Santa Lucia's high school. Played 8 games as a freshman. Now in his 6th appearance in his sophomore year. This is only his 3rd at-bat. He has a run on 1 hit. It was a double. He's walked what hasn't struck out. Ethan Diaz misses a pitch high and outside. Count is 1-1. As a freshman, batted .500, just 2 at-bats. No correction, that's this year. As a freshman, started 4 games, played in 8. 2 hits, 2 RBIs, and 15 at-bats for Kangas. He fouls one away into the Wildcat dugout. He's behind 1-2. Ethan Diaz trying to complete another scoreless inning in this series for him, and he will do so with a swing and miss strikeout on a curveball. He gets 2 Ks and a fly out to strand 2. No runs, no hits, 2 left. We go to the bottom of the 9th. 3 outs left for the Cats, trailing 13-5 here on the CatEye Radio Network and SWAC TV. Three outs left in this one. Wildcats trail FGCU 13-5 as we go to the bottom of the 9th. Caleb Scott will get his 2nd AB in place of Andre Martinez. He walked in the 7th and was stranded on 3rd.
Wildcats, number 35, Caleb Scott.
Logan Eisenbarth remains on the mound for Florida Gulf Coast. Eisenbarth delivers a strike. He has a career .338 ERA with over 3 seasons of the Warhawks of Wisconsin Whitewater. Struck out 115 to just 36 walks in 122 innings pitched. Called strike on the inside corner to Scott. And it's 0-2. Eisenbarth wishes way outside, 1-2. The 1-2. Upstairs, 2-2. Last year at Wallace-Dothan Community College for Caleb Scott, batted 161, 10 hits, 62 at-bats, 7 RBI, 5 runs scored. Started at the D1 level at Lipscomb. Did not make an appearance as a freshman. Lipscomb, of course, got run through by Mississippi State today, 26-0 in 7 innings. Scott stays alive with another foul ball. And he'll run the count full. Scott came back, fouled a couple off, and worked a walk in his first time up. Will he do the same here? Here's the pitch from Eisenbarth. And he fouls it away. Probably would have been ball 4, low and inside, but he decided to take a hack at it. We'll see another pitch. Scott played his high school ball in Orlando at Bishop Moore Catholic. And he will walk. Caleb Scott has family history on the diamond. His sister Barry played softball at UCF. And he's aboard with his second walk in 2 plate appearances. Here's Darrell Lee. Lee tonight has reached base 3 times without a hit. 2 walks and an error. First pitch, a strike outside corner to the lefty. Came around to score on the 3-run triple / inside the park homer by Judah Poyeto in the 5th. Breaking ball for strike 2. Darrell Lee now in his 2nd season in maroon and gold. As he swings and misses for strike 3, there's the first out of the 9th. Last year, Lee mostly batted leadoff, has been shuffled down to either 2 or 3 behind Eric Almonte to start this season. Here's Judah Poyeto, who has 3 triples in 2 games, including 1 today, back in the 5th. Other than that, as flew out to center, popped out on the infield, and grounded into a 6-4-3 double play. And he lines one to left field down the line. That is going to drop in, hop over the wall for a ground rule double. Judah Poyeto making his case for Wildcat of the Week this week.
He definitely is, and might give it to him because he has just been all over the base paths tonight and has been pretty good defensively as well so far in this series.
J.C. Chicano will pinch hit for Michael Lucena here. Chicano did hit once last night. On the season, 1 hit and 6 ABs, 2 RBI, has been hit by 4 pitches and struck out 4 times. Fouls the first one away, 0-1. One away in the ninth, runners on second and third. After the ground rule double by Judah Poyeto moved Caleb Scott around to stand 90 feet away.
Mike, are we nearing that longest game so far this season?
No, actually, the longest game so far this season was last night, 3 hours and 36 minutes.
I think we're nearing that.
We are at 3 hours and 30 minutes, so we are pretty nearing it. The third of the 4-game series against Delaware State here at the Jack also went over 3 hours 30. Swing and a miss from Chicano. And he goes down. The Wildcats are down to their last out. So that game, 3 hours, 26 minutes for the third game against Delaware State. And then last night was 3 hours, 35 minutes. So we're right around that.
At least they're keeping it consistent, you know?
3.5 mark. Michael Rodriguez with the potential last up for the Cats here, second and third, one out in the ninth. Eisenbarth trying to get out of this inning cleanly, will deliver a first pitch curveball strike. Rodriguez has this very odd batting stance where he plants his toe of his lead right foot in the ground and kind of twists his torso back to build up tension for the swing. One, outside, 2-1. Vaguely reminiscent of former Wildcat Manny Soufrain, who used to do something similar. Down low, 3 balls and a strike to Michael Rodriguez. If we do get there, Jacob Estrada waits on deck. Rodriguez fouls it away into the concourse on the third base side. And the Wildcats are down to their last strike here on Saturday night. Here's a pitch. Ground ball to third, fielded behind the bag. The throw across the diamond is in time. That's the ball game. So the Wildcats, for the second straight night, embarrassed on their home field by FGCU. As the Eagles come to Daytona Beach on Bike Week and suck the horsepower out of Jackie Robinson Ballpark. They win this one 13-5. Florida Gulf Coast, 13 runs on 19 hits, 2 errors, and 12 left on base. The Wildcats, 5 runs, 6 hits, 2 errors, and left 10 on base.
It just was not the night for the Wildcats at all. The Eagles just continued their power hitting from last night, their clean defensive work in the field from last night as well, and just mounted runs on runs on runs for the Wildcats, and there was really nothing they could do to catch up to it. There were spurts of power and excitement and energy, but overall this was a team that just looked depleted from the beginning. They really need to go back to the drawing board and find some energy to close out this series and not get swept tomorrow.
The winning pitcher is Chris Diaz, his record now 2-0. Edwin Sanchez takes the loss, his first of the season, his record now 3-1. There was no save. Time of the ballgame, 3 hours and 33 minutes.
Close.
Close, but not quite the longest game of the season here at the Jack. That'll be it for us, for Bryce Renowski, our CatEye Network fearless leader, Jade Burkett, Michael Trillo here at the desk. We'll see you tomorrow at 1 o'clock to close out this 3-game series here in Daytona Beach. Until then, hail Wildcats.